Good morning, St. Paul's. It feels a little targeted, doesn't it, that one of the lines in the scripture this morning in the gospel is, "What is it you want me to do for you?" You know what we want you to do. But we'll set that aside for a second. Some of you may have heard this. When you enroll in law school, you are told, law school does not teach you the law. It teaches you how to think like a lawyer. Now, in my case, that's meant two things. First, it means that in any set of circumstances, I am going to imagine the worst possible outcome. And second, it means that I like proof. I like facts and figures. I like to be able to point to a concrete, verifiable answer. Something that says, this is true, this is real. Or in the case of a church, this is working. So next week, you will receive materials for our stewardship campaign, materials put together thoughtfully by Jen and Dana and the rest of the stewardship committee who have done such a wonderful job over the last few months. These materials are meant to give you concrete proof that St. Paul's is living out our faith in the world. You can also go online and see some of these facts and figures. You'll learn, for example, that we have distributed 1,440 lunches for the Neighborhood Resilience Project. You'll learn that we have supported 5 candidates in the ordination process. You'll learn that 16 young people, some of those young people about whom Jen was speaking, participated in Mission Trip and accumulated 440 volunteer hours. These numbers are inspiring and reassuring. We can cite these numbers and say that St. Paul's is having an impact on our community and on the lives of our people. But as much as I love those hard numbers, there are other kinds of proof that St. Paul's is having an impact. My daughter is now in her senior year of college, at a point in her life where she and her friends are making big life decisions. One of her best friends is getting married, and in preparation for joining their lives and possibly raising children, Molly and her boyfriend have begun visiting churches together. Now, Molly and Jay grew up in different faith traditions. As some of you may sympathize, the process has been one of exploration and compromise. It's also been a process of frustration. So a couple of weeks ago, Ava sat Molly down and said to her, "Have you two considered the Episcopal Church? I want to make a pitch." Ava explained that the Episcopal Church is a wonderful place to raise children, to introduce them to the idea of a faith without limits. She said, to Molly and to me, "I've always felt accepted and welcomed for who I am. I never felt that I had to hide any part of myself. I could come to church mad or upset or worried, and no one made me feel like I had to pretend that I wasn't. I was allowed to ask questions. I could run around and be goofy. And I knew the people around me loved me and wanted the best for me." Now, that is what in the Baptist church we used to call a testimony. That is a statement of faith. That is also proof as vital and as real as any facts and figures. The fact that our young people see this church as a resource, as an answer to problems shows the impact of our ministries. The dilemma that Ava's friends are facing also shows the importance of our work. Young people join a church with an eye on the future, with the goal of, to borrow a phrase, cultivating community and fostering faith. They want programs that will support them and any children they may raise. They want opportunities for outreach. They want book groups and classes, prayer partners and mentors. They want connections that will last and a faith that will encourage. 4 years ago, St. Paul's began planning for the future. We wanted to encourage and sustain the growth of this community, so the vestry began to budget for growth. And we have grown. But this growth is not possible without you. St. Paul's is a self-sustaining church. This means that we are not drawing down on a huge endowment or relying on external sources to fund our clergy, our music, our outreach. If we want to continue to provide these services for ourselves and for our community, we all need to give. So when you give to St. Paul's, you are providing figures for the Godly Play classrooms. You are providing groceries that will go into lunches that will be handed out at Neighborhood Resilience Project. You are funding tools and supplies for Mission Trip. You are adding to the facts and figures that underscore the impact we have on God's precious, aching world. But you are also cultivating a community that makes children and young people feel safe. You are fostering a faith that goes beyond balance sheets and lasts beyond childhood. So I encourage you to give prayerfully and generously. Your gifts and your pledges are something that we can point to, something that we can rely on. But we, here in this community, in this room today, we are the proof. Thank you.